This is for those advanced in theory. After I play the F major and F minor in root position, circled here, the next chord, the way I wrote it is for low intermediate, so your hand pulls down all the way to C major root position. But there is another inversion that would sound better.
First inversion?
First inversion, correct. This one, the one with the E at the bottom. Yeah, so if I do play, bless my homeland, that would be the G7 I play. So depending on where you're coming from, the C, the G7 will also change, and that would be the G7 I'm playing with the F at the bottom and the G and the B. Missing is the D, which is often the case. We are deleting the B. Even in this inversion here, with the B at the bottom, I deleted the D, right? That's D missing. So often we delete the fifth of the chord. The fifth of the chord. And the reasoning behind it is because of physics, and I've demonstrated the harmonics of a string for you before. But if you want to Google or YouTube harmonics, you will understand why often we delete the fifth of your chord, because it's contained inside the root note. Physically, like physics. So if I choose the C in this inversion, E, G, C, then the nearest, most convenient G7 would be this inversion. So in fact, if you're intermediate, getting into wanting to be an intermediate level, not only do you practice C to G7 this way, you should practice C in first inversion to G7 this way with the fingers 1, 3, 4. It's not just C, G7, C that way, but also C, G7 this way, C. And if I was starting on second inversion of the C chord, this one, G, C, then what would be my nearest G7? There are two choices. It's actually G7 original position. I deleted the D, but that's the original. So if you're practicing from C inversion 2, I would go here. And in some rare occasions, it would be this one. Delete the B. If the B is already in your melody, you don't need to play the B, and you just do the other ones. But that's rare. Safest is to practice this one, C inversion 2, to the G7 original. Delete the D. We're still deleting the D, the fifth of your chord. Root of the chord, third of the chord, fifth of the chord, we delete that. So C, G7, I started with C root. If I start with C first inversion, that would be how the G7 is. And if I started with C second inversion, this would be the G7 I choose. And that would be for the ones already like, oh, I've practiced all my, 1571, 1571, 17571, 1571. I've done that page of summary, I've done that. Then yes, do practice your C to G7, but starting with a different C inversion, inversion 1 or inversion 2. That will be your next level of technique.